Boy, get out of there. Get. All right, let's try this again. I don't know how I lost it, but I lost that one, and I apologize. I don't think I pushed anything, but you'd think the only way I could get out of it is if I push this button down here that says end stream. No, I didn't do that. So anyway, back to what I was saying. I've been on some new meds, and they make me real hungry. They make me feel a lot better, though. So that's a plus. Got a lot of new stuff going on here. New co-host. Hi, Robert. Hope you can hear me all right. If you would, say so. My voice is too loud, too loud. It's all new stuff, so I don't know. I've done a couple test runs, and it seems like, all right, awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. View all right. Camera view all right. You know, from my side, from what I looked, it all looked good. It all sounded good, but on your end, if you'd let me know it sounds good, awesome. I appreciate that. Like my new backstop here, all this other new stuff. It's all new. Like I said, I don't know if he's in here normally, but normally do this on my Magic iPhone. Got a new setup here, so I've been trying to figure it all out, and I'm a computer dummy. So I'm pretty proud of the fact that I can get this far. But anyway, new meds, new gear, stuff like that. Kind of compelled to do a video today because, man, there's been a lot of stuff coming out about this. Was it 3i Atlas? I don't know if you know anything about that, but man, it's kind of freaking me out a little bit. There's a lot of information going on about that. I seen Joe Rogan had the scientist, one of the main scientists, Ali Lieb, I think is his name. He was on that, and man, it got a lot of information. And then I watch a guy called Jesse on Fire, and he had a lot of stuff to say about it too. So I've seen some pictures. I don't know if we can trust the pictures or not, but it sure don't look like a comet to me. And I don't know. I mean, I believe surely there has to be life out there someplace. And you put that together with other things that I've learned about over time, like a thing called the WOW signal. I don't know if you're ever aware of that, but I'll give you a little brief about that. But I think it was in like 1977 or somewhere around in there. United States or NASA or some important body, they kept sending signals out, and they were listening, and they got a signal back. And I think it was called on the hydrogen, what was it? The hydrogen frequency, because hydrogen is the most prevalent thing in the galaxy or whatever. But all these smart people said was that if intelligent life was going to try and contact us, they would do it on this frequency. And for like 72 seconds, the signal came from, it was like the constellation of Sagittarius or something like that. Don't quote me on all this stuff. This is just stuff that's in my head. But anyway, the signal came for 72 seconds. And I mentioned 72 seconds just because that's all the longer they could record, like each transmission. The telescope moved or something. It was only 72 seconds. It could have went on longer, but they don't know because it just, that's as long as they could record. The importance of that is that supposedly this comet, AI Atlas, is coming from that same direction, that same place. And that's kind of weird. Something to take note about. It's just got a lot of things about it. And this guy, Avi Lieb, he says there's just a lot of things that are different. And I would tend to agree. I'm no expert by any stretch of the imagination. I just try to pay attention and look at different things that are going on. And I can tell you that it does seem different. The pictures I've seen, I don't know if they're fake. I don't have any idea. They don't look like a comet. And, movies and all that other crap does stuff to us. But like, is it some kind of invasion, the beginning of an invasion? From my point of view, I'd like to think that, some species like that from some far out galaxy with all this technology and this intelligence, if they came here, they could fix my lungs. As you can see, I'm attached to this hose, so I need some help with my lungs. So if anybody out there has any insight on what we're going to be invaded by or looked at, let them know I need some help. I need some help with my lungs. Maybe they can just wave their big long fingers over my chest and heal my lungs. I don't know. That'd be awesome if they did. But I see Robert left. But yeah, there's a lot of cool things in here that I need to learn how to do. I don't know how long this is going to go on. I wish some more people would participate, but it's kind of earlier than I normally do these. One thing to think about is starting a Rumble account. And I'll tell you why, honestly. I'll tell you why. I get more recognition from Rumble than I do on YouTube from YouTube, if that makes any kind of sense at all. I can't just abandon YouTube because, number one, I like it. I can navigate around it pretty good. And I've got 222 subscribers, and that's nothing to shake a stick at. And I appreciate that. So I don't want to just abandon this channel. I've got 130 videos, and I'm going to keep going with them. But I also want to work on Rumble, and I've said this in the past, and with my health and stuff like that, it kind of goes up and down. But I want to concentrate a little bit on Rumble also. So if you're on here and you listen to this, and you're compelled, go to Rumble. Go to Rumble and start an account. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. And on Rumble, if you recall here, I'm 95 Sporty 1. On Rumble, I'm just 95 Sporty. If you type that in, I'll come up. Subscribe to that channel. I've only got 15 followers there now. Like I say, I'm going to try and boost it up a little bit. I don't know who's in the room. Say hi on the screen. Hi in the room. If you want me to say hi back to you, let me know who you are. I hope the sound's coming through all right. I hope the video's coming through all right. This is all brand new stuff. So, it is what it is. If Robert came back, thanks for coming back, Robert. If it's somebody else, just speak in. Hey, I got 3 people in here. How's it going, everybody? Glad you showed up. Talking a little bit about the 3AI. I got this hair on my microphone. It keeps waving in front of my face. Talking about the 3i Atlas, and it's a pretty interesting thing to me. I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. Like the coming of Christ. I've always been told, under the implied that he was going to come down from the clouds, but hell, he might be riding on a rock. I don't know. Or alien invaders. Hey, what's up? The Pittsburgh podcast is in the house. How's everything sounding? Does everything sound all right? Am I too close to the mic? Be my ears out there and really hit me hard if I'm talking too loud, if I need to back off the mic. How's my camera look? What's my setup look like? Your opinion matters. And Pittsburgh, we need to get together because we can't do what we've done on here before. We have to do that through our smartphones still. And there's some workarounds. We'll just have to talk about that. But I'm glad you're here. Always glad you're here. Glad to hear from you. Glad to have you here. You had a good day. No, I'm not the next Joe Rogan. Not at all. I do have a permanent co-host right here, though. Thought you'd get a kick out of that. Looks like he's about ready to bonk me in the head. But hey, I'll take it. I'll take what I can get. But I was saying, this 3AI, man, this 3AI, it's 3i Atlas. That's the term for it. And it's 3 because it's the third interstellar object. It's 3, and then I is interstellar. And then the Atlas is because that's the telescope that saw it. I believe that's how that all comes out. But anyway, something to think about, man, because like, we get complacent to just sitting here on this rock like we're just the only ones out here, when the truth is like, the space between things, the time between things, there ain't no way we're the only ones just sitting out here floating around on a globe or flat surface or whatever you believe. It just can't happen that way. So there's other things out there, and maybe they're pissed. Maybe they don't like what we're doing. I don't know. I do not know. And that's kind of what makes it intriguing, is the fact that I don't know. And pretty interesting. It's traveling like 160,000 to 200,000 kilometers. I believe it was in kilometer mile per hour. And then I think today, if I'm not mistaken, I watched Jesse on Fire, and one thing that freaked him out that I took note of is it made a course correction. Comets don't make course corrections like that. So, and I'm not the one to say this, but like, I guess it is what it is. I don't like to say that, but what are we going to do? You think your 9mm is going to matter when it comes to alien spacecraft or beings or whatever? It's not at all. But hey, Pittsburgh, you might get a kick out of this. I got this thing right here. I don't know if you can see it. It's probably too bright in the light, but there you go. I don't know. Hopefully you can get that. That's my buddy Rich at the Pittsburgh podcast. If you're listening to this, he's the only one in here, so he's not gonna. But anybody else that listens to this in the future, go to Pittsburgh podcast, subscribe to his channel. We always say this. We've done a couple, but we're going to do some more collaboration on things. And after some time, we're going to get some bugs worked out, and we'll be like Hannity and Combs, or we'll be like a pair. We'll be like a team. So just can't lose sight of it. What he's got going on in his life, what I've got going on in my life, it's hard to get things kind of tied up and bonded up, but we can get there. We kind of started it already. And to be honest with you, I'm not going to lie, give him the credit. This is a lot of my inspiration he's given me for this right here. I was always satisfied with just using my phone, and I've seen what he's done and what he's got to dig through, and he'll get there. But he's got a little studio, and so I got in my mind a little studio, and that's kind of what I've developed here. I think there can be some improvements, and there will be. But I certainly like this microphone. It makes me feel good. When I look at the screen, I see me talking like this. It makes me feel better, that the fact that, I got a professional looking microphone like this. He's giving me some pointers, and I'm gonna try to apply them. Yeah. Stage isn't mine. The stage is ours. We just got to get you involved. Now, I was saying before in my earlier part of this video that I'm going to try and concentrate on Rumble a little bit. I want to push some of this towards Rumble, simply because Rumble recognizes me on Rumble way more than YouTube recognizes me on YouTube. Now, that don't mean my subscribers don't recognize me, because they do. I'm talking about the platform YouTube. The platform YouTube, to get any kind of recognition, you're like hundreds of thousands of likes and thousands of subscribers away from it. And like, it just makes you feel like you're treading water a lot. And, I don't do this. I don't do this for monetary. I don't do this even for recognition, but I'm not going to lie. After a while, it'd be nice to have, like hey, thanks for supporting our platform. It does make them money. That's why they do it. So it takes all of us. And that brings me into another thing I've been wanting to talk about. If anybody's listening to this at some point and you have a bigger platform, help the little guys out. I mean, you literally only have some of these guys, all they have to do is just mention your channel, and you can gain hundreds of subscribers just like by them mentioning it. And they just ignore you. Like, the little guy don't mean nothing. And that's upsetting to me. It's upsetting to me because, I'll help anybody. I'll help anybody for just about any reason. And it just burns me like I go to a lot of live streams and I participate. I chat, and you know, a lot of them don't even acknowledge that you're there. Now I do watch. It's called the Third Rail. I do watch them guys a lot, and I went to Rumble, and they've got me some subscribers, and they mention me. And when I click on there and I say, "Hey guys, how's it going?" They mention me by name, and that always makes me feel good because I feel like I'm a participant. A lot of these people, you know, I've written emails to them or messages to them, and they don't even acknowledge that they got them. Now, with that being said, I watch Jim Brewer, and man, I can see my video screwing up a little bit. I watch Jim Brewer, and Jim Brewer is an older comedian that he's been around since, you know, for a long time, and a smart guy. And this guy can tell some stories. Like, he is a true storyteller. So if anybody, especially you, Rich, watch some of Jim Brewer, man. Get on YouTube and watch Jim Brewer. It's called the Brewer Universe, and he has a segment that's called It's Funny How God Works. Watch those videos, man. He's a really good storyteller. But the one thing I'll tell you about him is he's huge. He's got like a couple hundred followers. And I wrote him some messages on YouTube, and he's answered me back. And that's like that buys so much loyalty from me. Like I like all of his videos. I subscribe to his channel. I watch all of his videos. And part of the reason I do it is not because he's good, but because like he at least acknowledges that I'm trying to communicate with him. And I'm sure he has hundreds or thousands of people that are, you know, messaging him, and he talks about sometimes how they're shitheads to him and stuff like that. And, you know, I'm not a shithead to him. I like the guy. He told a story that like it really hit home with me because he was in the same area of Florida at the same time I was in Florida. And I feel like I knew, that's cool, man. I hope one day I get to meet him, because I think I'd like, that's one guy I'd like to meet, you know, for reasons, but like, I don't know, feel like I've met him already because we were in the same part of the state, the same town, same city, same time. And he told a story that I feel like I knew the people. So it was like just kind of weird. Anyway, watch some of his stuff if you haven't already. It's good stuff. Now, next topic. See this right here? It's a copper bottle. I drink 3 or 4 of these a day because of the meds that I'm on. But supposedly the copper, you can see in there, it's copper. Drinking water out of copper is supposed to be really healthy for you. So give it a shot. Instead of drinking out of that junk ass plastic or stainless steel, try copper. This thing only cost me like $20. See, got my name on it right there. But yeah, Jim Brewer, he's one I watch. Another one I'll send a plug to that really doesn't, not for any reason other than I just like watching his content, is Murphy's Diesel. Rick Murphy from Arizona. And he puts out some good content, man. I watched it, I think it was an hour and a half last night of him. And he just makes me laugh. He's got a great big old beard on him, and he's a good content provider. There's some that I've just really been turned off from, and I feel like they get a lot of support from YouTube and their subscribers, and then they just kind of fade out. Like they start making enough money every month where they don't have to. And you know, I guess a real good one about that would be Amagansett Press. He's an auditor, and he just don't make videos anymore. And it's a shame because he was really good at it. He was like one of the pioneers of the way he did this First Amendment auditing. And then now he just, you know, he's worth enough money. Yeah. Rick Murphy's got a big old beard. Like it comes down like this huge beard. And he just does some funny stuff, man. And it's just like, it's pretty great. I think he does really good content. But who's another one? Whistling Diesel, Cody Detweiler. And I'll tell you a story about Cody Detweiler. Is I live about, I'll say 10 miles from to 15 miles from a school called Tippecanoe Valley. And I believe he went to school there. So he's like a local kid right here. I can take you to one of his billboards where he's looking for his dad's skid loader, and he's got like a $10,000 reward if he can find the skid loader that was stolen like 10 years ago or something. But he's a local kid around here. And that's another one, like, and I don't blame him. I can't say I blame him, but he gets all this support from all these subscribers and all these people watch his videos, and then he just takes off. He just takes off. And then you try to get him to mention your channel on his channel, and it just ain't going to happen. He's like all in it for himself. So I guess it's like, it would be like, and this was explained to me one time, it'd be like McDonald's trying to promote Burger King. But instead, I don't look at it that way, because I'm not no monster channel by any stretch. I don't, if I get 1,000 subscribers, man, I would feel like a big dog. And these guys get like millions of views. And it just burns my ass that it's like, almost like they're selfish to the point of, they don't want to mention you because they're afraid that you might take something from them, or I don't even know. But just like now, Pittsburgh Podcast, I'll say that name 100 times and hope that people that watch this video go to the Pittsburgh Podcast and subscribe to his channel, because it doesn't cost me anything. It's not like you're going to get a W-2 in the mail, and it's not like I'm going to come, knock on your windows and look in your windows and be like, hey, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to his channel. It's just free, people, and that's all. And I'm not trying to like beg for it or nothing, but like, I subscribe to channels that, I don't know, like I want the people to go someplace. I want them to keep trying. There's a young girl that I can't even remember what her name is. I'd have to look again, but she's always putting content out, and she's begging for subscribers. And last time I looked, she only had like 10. I'm one of them, but it hurts my heart because this young girl tries, and nobody just like, but I don't understand the algorithm either. I can post a picture of my cat and I get 2,100 views on that thing. Yeah, that's right. 2,100 views for my cat jumping into a plastic bag. I posted a couple videos of myself doing 3 minute quick videos, shorts, and some of them got 700. I posted a couple right after that. They didn't even break 20. And I don't understand that. I just don't understand how cool. Appreciate it, Rich. I appreciate the compliments. It was pointed out to me over here by my daughter that's a librarian that I spelt the word shepherd wrong. So that second E right there needs to be an A, and that'll get changed. But yeah, my librarian daughter, she pointed that out, that was spelled wrong. Wouldn't you imagine? But to give you a little bit of explanation about my set, right here, picture of my dad. Let's see, right? Anyway, the picture up there. Let's see. I'm looking at everything backwards here. So there you go. It's a picture of my dad when he was a young man. I don't even think he was 20 years old there. And then next to it, it's a picture of me and my favorite person in the world, my boss. And then up here, I've got an 8-point buck. I didn't shoot it, didn't kill it, but I found it. And then I sent it in, and I had it's called a European mount. I had beetles crawl over it and clean all the flesh off of it. So that's a pretty nice. I wish you could see it a little bit better. Maybe I'll get some adjustment. Got some Harley Davidson hats going on here. Got a couple things you can't see. We the People hat that's sitting here close to me. And then I got my buddy Don here. He's my co-host. When Rich ain't around, he's my co-host. What do you mean black and white? What's clear? My set? I hope my set's clear. I'm not using my iPhone, which is funny. Like, I'll talk about this thing for a second, I wanted to have a nice microphone, and I did have a nice. All right, cool, thank you. I did have a nice like mixer board that had sound effects and stuff on it. And at the end of the day, I always went back to this iPhone. I went back to this iPhone because it has, I think, 5 different cameras on it, and they're pretty good ones. And what I didn't realize, and it took my daughter once again helping me out through this, but she enlightened me on the fact that the iPhone is designed to work with YouTube. So there's things that you can do on YouTube with your iPhone that you can't do with a setup like this. Like, I've got a decent laptop, and I've got a webcam that's mounted like 3 or 4 feet back there, so I can get a bigger, broader view. Thanks to you, Rich. Instead of me looking up in my face like this, I've got a bigger view. So that was something that you made me work on. Got these nice microphone stands and all this stuff, but at the end of the day, YouTube is made for this sucker right here. Right here. That's what it's made for. So everything works easier when you're on here. It's just you can't use all this stuff. You can't, like the best I could do is this right here, as far as microphones are concerned. And I wanted to do this because not only does it looks better, it makes me feel better. And then I think sound is going to be better out of this. I'm not for sure, but and then, back on Father's Day, my daughter bought me this nice mic or camera. She bought me a nice camera stand. And then, where's it at here? She bought me this nice camera stand. And then she had to pay extra to get this little gadget. And what this little gadget is this little gadget holds your iPhone. So she bought me a nice camera. And part of the reason she bought the camera was so that when I was going to Wyoming to have stem cell therapy, I could take it and take videos of it. But also as I could make videos on it, download the videos to my iPhone, and then put them on YouTube. And I decided what I wanted to do is use it as a permanent webcam. So I have another stand, another boom stand, mic, not mic, but boom, I don't know what you call it, holder, whatever. And on the front of my desk, and I just couldn't get it far enough away. So I had to recruit my boss. She came in, she helped me out. Long story short, but she not only gave me the idea, she did it. She set my camera up back where, it's like 5 feet away, but it gives me a good broad view. And I'm so happy that happened. And Rich, the only reason it happened was because you said you need to get more of a view of me rather than just my head. If you go back and look at all my other videos, that's what it is. It's just a video of my head like this. Now I've got like a backdrop, and it's going to change a little bit too, I'm sure, in the future. This is just like the preliminaries. So any feedback you got, man, I take it. I don't get offended by it. I take the feedback and I'll apply it if I feel it's necessary. At the end of the day, I'm the one that makes the decision. So, like I said, not to be a rude asshole, but that's just what I do. I take the ideas, and if it makes sense, it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, I'll kind of move it on. But anyway, you've helped me a lot, Rich. So don't forget. And I don't know if I told you or not, but I'm glad you got out of everything. Not out of it, but I'm glad you're through everything that you've been going through. Keep your head up, keep your chin up, and I can't wait till we do this again, bro. I mean, I liked when we were doing them together. It keeps me moving, and I know it keeps you moving. So yeah. Can't wait to do it again. What else did I want to talk about? There's been so much stuff going on. Okay. Charlie Kirk. Man, I've lost track of that. I've lost track of the FBI. I've lost track of all this stuff. I've lost track of it because it's so spun out. Like last I remember, they were blaming his wife. I heard Candace Owens was blaming this guy right here. I don't know if it's true, but holy crap. You want to talk about full circle. That sucker's been going I've even heard that he's not dead, that it was a hologram and he slipped underneath a trap door that was underneath the table, and then they repaved everything, and I saw pictures where they did repave everything, and it's just like, where does this end? But I also think that the powers that be muck things up so bad, and it just confuses things. It just confuses things like so bad. Can't speak about what. You're going to have to be a little bit more specific. I mean, I'm not saying I want to speak about it. I'm just saying you wrote, we cannot speak of that. What are you talking about exactly? I'll shut up. Another thing, I guess the thing we shouldn't be talking about, or we should be, I think we all should be talking about it, is Israel. That's a can of worms right there. I've been doing a little bit of research about that, and I see. Yeah, I like to talk about it, but we don't have to. That's all right. I just think it's pretty crazy because it's taken a full circle. Like I don't know if you've watched my previous videos, but I did. You can see back here on the shelf. Let's see, it'd be over here on the shelf. I've got a 50 cal all the way down to what's called a 17 Mach 2, which I believe is the smallest. I've got a what's it called? I can't remember the name of it. It's a 22 primer fired. So I think back here what I have is I have about 6 or 8 rounds that I go literally from the smallest that I have, smallest like shoulder fired rifle round, to the largest. Now I don't have all of them in between. There's too many in between, but I have about 6 or 8 of them. And I go from a 50 cal, which is sitting up there, to this. I can't think of the name. It's Hummingbird in Spanish is the name of it. I'd have to look it up. I could. But I did a couple episodes where I was talking about small caliber rounds, and I've used a couple. Like I like a small caliber round. I have a 17 HMR that is a Hornady Magnum rimfire is what it is, and it's like I shot a groundhog from about 60 yards, 50, 60 yards maybe, and this thing didn't have a chance. It pumped a stream of blood that big out of it. It made it about 3 feet. It was trying to get back into its hole, and it just sprung a leak bad. So it was a good shot, but point is this little bitty 17 caliber, 17 grain, which I don't know if you know what that is, but it's really light. So like it's buzzing through the air. I think it's over. The box says 2,600 feet per second, but I've seen where they've done tests on them, and it's closer to 3,000 feet per second. So this little bullet is like screaming. And the problem with it is it's so small and so light, and it's going so fast that if it hits a blade of grass, it just goes out of control. It disintegrates and goes out of control. And so, you got to factor that kind of stuff in there too. And I tried to do that in earlier videos that I had made. But yeah. What else? What else can we talk about? Man, I had a grilled tenderloin for dinner tonight, and that sucker was good. This part of the state, this part of Indiana, we're known for grilled tenderloins, or for tenderloins in general, either whether breaded or grilled. And around here, like, you can get a grilled tenderloin. I'm not kidding you. It's bigger than your head. They're like this big. And then it's got a bun that's like this big on it. But you get this big old piece of tenderloin. And they're good. And so there's even places on Facebook where that's what they do is they travel around in the state and they get different tenderloins from different restaurants and compare them. So that's what I had for dinner. I had French fries and a tenderloin. And I'll tell you something cool. I don't know if you do this where you're at, but you go sit at a bar, you have little pull tabs that you get out of a machine or you buy from the bartender. And I was sitting there and I got my debit card out and I got $40 cash, and I bought these little they're pull tabs, and I got 40 of them. They were $1 a piece, and my boss gave me 20 and she kept 20. She counted them out, and I won $2. I won a $2 pull tab, And we walked out of there with $225. She won a $204 pull tab, cost $1. So it paid for our dinner, got a little extra cash to go with it. And that was pretty good evening. I forgot about that. So yeah, that was kind of cool. Yeah, that happens. You know, I'd done some training. This was years ago when I was healthy, but I did some like, I don't know what you call it. It wasn't target training. It was like vehicle training with a handgun. And there were targets set up on the vehicle, and you started out in the vehicle. You got out, used the door as cover. You shot targets. We put two rounds on each target, and we were using 9mm. That's what the range was set up for. And you know, from 20 or 30 feet, we were getting hit with shards of shards of bullets from the ricochets. So yeah, ricochets can do that. You know, I'm not a big fish person, and tilapia is probably, you know, a lot of people like it. My sister likes it. She makes it like a crusted tilapia that is, I'm not going to lie, it's pretty good, but like, man, I'm so paranoid about food anymore. It's not even funny. Like I watched a lot of tilapia comes from China, and over there, I'm just not a fan. But yeah, basil, butter and basil, that sounds pretty good. My lady's been on a kick, man, where she's been making some really good food, and she calls this one dish chicken shit and rice, and it's chicken breast chopped up, naturally boneless, and a cream of mushroom soup, and then fresh mushrooms. And I bought portobellos this week to put in it. She chops those up and then cooks it all and puts it over rice. And I can eat like a whole plate of this stuff. Like we've been together for over 11 years. And I was like, why haven't you made this before? Because this has just been a couple of weeks. Like a month ago, she made it. And I'm like, man, this is fabulous. And she's like, well, you normally don't like rice, so I just never made it. And now, like every week, I wish she'd make it. That's how good it is. Yeah, I like to eat, especially this new medication I'm on. It's prednisone, so it's a steroid. And normally people take like 10 or 20 milligrams a week, and I'm taking 40, not a week, a day. They usually take 10 or 20 milligrams a day, and I'm taking 40 milligrams a day. Plus, they got me on gabapentin because of the pain. And I'm really not complaining because, well, it does. It helps. It helps me out. And, you know, I hope there's not anything permanent from it. But at this stage, and I'd rather just kind of be comfortable and be able to breathe. And that stuff definitely helps it. You know, before I was hurting, I went through a stage a few weeks ago, and that's why I wasn't on here very much, where like I was in so much pain. My side hurt. My whole left side would hurt, like from my rib cage, lower rib cage, all the way up through my pec muscle and into my shoulder. I'd be in so much pain it would hurt. And I ended up going to the hospital, the emergency room, late one night. And they really couldn't find much. They gave me some opiates to take the pain away, but couldn't figure out what was going on. And so now I went to my doctor and got me on a regimen of these pills that they seem to be working. So, you know, I'm not going to complain, at least not yet. I've done some research on the medication, and it kind of freaks me out, scares me a little bit, but what do you do? Either way, you know, I have lung disease, and it's not going away till this alien spaceship comes in and they wave their freaky long fingered hands over me and fix my lungs. That's what I'm counting on. Everybody else is worried about it, but man, I hope they're friendly, and I hope they bring med beds with them. That's what I hope. That'll make a lot of people happy. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid, Rich. I'm really not. I'm too far into this to be afraid. I'm not, I mean, how do I want to say it? I'm ready, but I'm not. Like, if it happens, it happens. But I'd rather not. You know, I got things I want to do. I can tell you right now, if I ever get a new set of lungs, which is still possible, I haven't put that all the way off the table, but if I ever get a new set of lungs and get off of this right here, I'm buying a new motorcycle. I am. I'm going to buy me a new motorcycle. I'm not going to buy a Harley. It's too expensive. I think I want to buy a dual sport, like a 650, like a dual sport DS Suzuki 650. I think they were Suzuki's. Kawasaki's were, maybe they were the DSs. I don't know. I'd buy a dual sport. Something I could ride off road if I want. Yeah, that's a possibility. A Honda Cruiser. Yeah, Honda's a good bike, man. That's probably one of the best. I'm a Kawasaki guy, just because when I was racing bikes, riding bikes all the time, that's what I rode was Kawasaki. Was my favorite. Rode like a Cadillac. Hondas were a little faster, but my Kawasaki rode like a Cadillac. I'd exchange bikes with my buddies, and they'd be like, "Man, I can't believe how plush this bike is." But they were all 250s, But yeah, Honda makes a really good bike. They're probably one of the best. If I could, but like, if I was to do it all over again, especially by today's standard, I'd buy a brand new Goldwing. They make a brand new Goldwing. Looks like a Street Glide almost. They got the trunk and stuff off of it, and that thing is sweet. And those bikes will go 100,000 miles. You never got to put a wrench on them. And I got, I know people with Harleys. I got one of my best buddies got a Harley. It's like a 2000. He's been across the country twice with it. It's got over 100,000 miles on it. Never been cracked open. It's had cam tensioners put on it, but for the most part, it's not. So, I mean, Harley can do it too. But I think Harley Davidson, I think they abused their customer base to the point of no return. They charged a lot of money for stuff that they shouldn't have. They made their dealers do a lot of things that they shouldn't have made them do. And I know personally because of the dealership that I dealt with all the time. But that's what companies do. That's why they would get CEOs from other countries that just didn't give a shit about America, give a shit about the U.S., and then they would just run companies into the ground. And that's what I think they've done with Harley. Harley makes a bike now. I'd really like to have one. I think it's an ST. It's a lowrider ST. I think is what it is. But it's a CVO, and they're fast, bro. They're like, but they're unattainable. They're upwards of, and it's like there ain't no way I'd spend that kind of money on a motorcycle. I spent $15,000 on one that was beautiful, and that'd like to kill me. I like spending that kind of money on stuff. I spent $100,000 on a house years ago, and I thought that was going to kill me. But here I am. It ain't killed me yet. Cigarettes have been worse than all those high bills. But what do you do? So what else can we talk about? I'll try to make it an hour, so that's another 15, 20. I'd like to put an hour one on here at least. And then something for you to think about, Mr. Pittsburgh, Mr. Rich, is when I get off of here, I'm going to take a little break, and I'm going to go to Rumble, and I'm going to do the thing. And when I go to Rumble and do the same thing, I'm going to search through there, and I'm going to see if I can't get you on it. And if I can get you on it, it's something for you to consider. We can do a short one on Rumble. We haven't been there on Rumble. We've been here on YouTube a couple times. Not for anything in particular, but you got to get your studio set up, and you can do it. I know you can do it. The reason I can do it is because this idiot did it. Here I am. Check it out. Microphone, camera, laptop. I know you got a laptop because I seen it. You don't got to have, you already got the cool background. So like a lot of it's done. You just got to get her done, bro. I enjoy us talking. And I think Rumble's like, you've told me Rumble's a place to be. We can maybe do a little something on Rumble. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to make it for another 15 minutes or so. And then I'm going to pull the plug on this, take a little bit of a break, and then I'm going to go to Rumble. And when I go to Rumble, I'm not going to go right to it because I did sort it out. I got a test run last night. I think it was last night, or maybe even this morning. I did a test run. I used ChatGPT. Man, that helps me out a lot. And I got a test on Rumble, and it worked out. So I should be good to go there. I got on YouTube. It took me a little bit, but I got me a test going on here. I'm starting to learn the computer a lot better. And I did find out that we can't do the co-hosting like we had done before on the computer without doing like a workaround. So if we do it on YouTube at this point, our best bet is to still use our phones because it's a direct line. It just does it. Working with the microphone and all this other stuff, it just doesn't, it's not designed into it that way. And that's where I was saying, like I know YouTube is designed to work on an iPhone or on a smartphone, and they've made it easy that way. So, cool. I'm glad it's fixed. And if we decide to do that on YouTube, my phone's ready to go still, and I can make it look like this, but go through my iPhone, I think. I can clip one of these little microphones on the side of this microphone. I can set my iPhone up like right here so that it's, we can get through it, but I'd rather you get your equipment working. That's why you got it. And I know you feel, at least I think you feel like the other guys that you was working with had all the brain power, but I think you're capable. I think you can do it. Hey, we got somebody else on here. How's it going? I see there's 2 people in here now. So bring you up to speed real quick. I got new gear, trying to work it out. And all right, I appreciate that, Rich. And we're just sitting here talking. Just a couple guys just talking, waiting for anybody else to join the conversation. If you can hear me all right, please let me know in the chat. You can see me all right. Let me know in the chat. I appreciate it. This is my first time with this setup. And so far, so good, I think. I think everybody can hear me all right. But yeah, I'm just going to try and make it another 10 or 12 minutes. And then I'm going to jump over to Rumble and do another one where it's just like, I'm just going to be just like talking about everything or nothing. But yeah. And I can take the lead. On all this, but a couple things. Number one, when we were on YouTube and we were co-hosting, what sucks about that is you lose out on the analytics. So you got to kind of take control too, so you can get some of the credit that you need because you're part of it. And then also, what else was it? You got to learn how to get your computer and stuff going. So, because this is the setup right here. Because if we're going to grow, come on, bro. We can't do it from these things. If we're going to grow, we got to do it like the big dogs do it. And that's it. No, I'm just kidding. It don't matter if we grow. It don't matter. It don't matter. I'd like to get bigger for sure. That's right. It's all for the love. I agree 100%. It's for the love, and it gives me something to do. So, like, I don't know I think you know this already, but I'm a gamer. I Xbox, and I play the same game all the time, Call of Duty Warzone. I like to say I play it every day, but it's probably usually like 5-6 days a week. I'll dedicate an hour or two and I'll play. And oh no, don't you dare say that. I'm like a Charlie Daniels song. I'm like a Kid Rock song. I sure ain't no Katy Perry song. So like, that'd be the last thing. I heard she was dating Macron. Is that his name? Who's the guy? Who's the old leader from from the old leader from Canada. What's his name? Is it Macron? What was his name? Justin Trudeau. That's it, Justin Trudeau. Katy Perry's dating Justin Trudeau. How freaking weird is that, man? Like, how weird is that? Seriously. I think it's weird. Katy Perry dating Justin Trudeau. I thought he was married. No, it was Canada. Justin Trudeau. I just seen it. I thought he was married. But then I think about that Macron guy that's from France that's got that freaky looking wife that could be a dude. So, like, yeah, I don't know. These people travel in their own circles. They're probably all inbred. Canada's flaked out anyway. And when I say Canada's flaked out, I don't mean the people. By all means, I don't mean the Canadian people. But the Canadian government and the people that are allowing it have just like went off the deep end, man. Like flaked out, totally flaked out. You know how they are with freedoms and gun control and like assisted suicide and then harvesting organs. And they're allowing this. It's like all this stuff is just weird to me, dude. Like weird. But hey, I guess that's where everybody's headed along those lines. Something to that effect. And I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like when they try to take our pals. I don't like when they try to put people in jail for liking things on social media. You know, if you click the thumbs up, then the old popo is going to come knocking on your door. I don't like that, man. I don't like that at all. And now that was one thing I wanted to talk about too, was like food stamps, dude. They're taking food stamps from a lot of people. And when that happens, people are going to get hungry. So what's going to happen? I don't live in a big city, so it's going to reach me late. But y'all that live out there in a big city, man, when people get hungry, they're going to come looking for something to eat. And people do some desperate stuff when they're hungry. So y'all be careful, especially you, Rich, because I know where you live. I got an idea where you live, man. You better be careful there, because when people get hungry, they're going to come looking. If you got any kind of food or anything they can eat, they're going to try and take it. And oh yeah, hell yeah, dude. I keep track of Chicago because I'm about an hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe a little more, a little less from Chicago. And Chicago's a problem. It's been a problem. And those ninjas out there, man, they're already ruthless. And, you know, there's a lot of people for not a lot of food. And I think that's going to be the biggest issue, is like food. When people get hungry, they do desperate things. Think back at like the Donner's Pass. Back in the Donner's Pass, they were, you know, they decided they were going to start eating each other. And that's pretty desperate. So when they cut food stamps, they already said, I watched a lot of the videos, man. I could turn you on to some channels where they're like, you know, they play this stuff, TikTok videos and stuff. And they're like, yeah, they said they're going to, when the food stamps don't come in, they're going to go robbing these stores. And when the stores are empty, they're going to start coming to people's houses. And I'll tell you one thing right now, don't come to my house. You're not going to be welcome in my house. You come here trying to steal food. Nope, not going to happen. Not going to happen. Not going to like it. Come into my house hostile, you're not going to like it at all. So that's just what I'm saying. But I live in a small town. I live in a small town where I think it's going to be late. The biggest town I live about 40, 45 minutes. That's probably a little bit long, but it'll say around there from a bigger city. So it's going to take a while for it to get here. I mean, it'll come here, no doubt. Like I said, I'm not going to be like, hey, knock on my door. Hey, how's it going? When what do they say? The STIF, is that what it is? SHTF. Yeah, SHTF. When that happens, I'm going to be prepared. I can promise you that. But yeah, anyway, that's another freaky thing, is the food stamps. And, Democrats, Republicans, it don't matter. The government's shutting down. I seen where they're not paying air traffic controllers. So we're going to have planes falling out of the sky, and then they're cutting food stamps off to a lot of people. And I don't think a lot of the people, I don't think they deserve them. I think they should go out and get a job, And speaking of that, I'll say this. Around here where I live, it used to be there were restaurants and eating establishments, like, I'm not going to say all over, but you didn't have a problem finding one. Now, if you exclude fast food, which we do, we don't eat any fast food. Like a week or so ago, I went and seen an insurance guy out of town. Had to drive like an hour. We come through another town. It's a pretty good sized city, but it was smaller than, it's bigger than where I'm at, but smaller than a city like South Bend. And I had to turn around, and it was on a Monday, I think, Monday or Tuesday. We had a hard time finding some place to eat. And that just blows my mind. Like, restaurants have shut down, especially mom and pop restaurants. Those are the ones I like to eat at. They've just shut down. And a lot of the reasoning is because they can't find nobody to work. That's what they say. The people that do work just don't care. So they just run their business in the ground. Point is a lot of these people that are getting food stamps can go to work, but they don't want to go to work. The one lady was like, I got kids, I can't go to work. Well, yeah, but I remember raising my kid and going to work. There's people, my mom had 6 kids and she went to work. Let's see, let me read what we got here. If you show up, I'll feed you. You're not the kind of person I'm talking about showing up. So you don't worry about that. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I'd like to do that sometime, but I don't know if I'd have the balls to fly like that. I like these little planes around here. They have powered parachutes. I think I would like that because if shit hit the fan, I could just fall. And I'd hit the ground a little bit hard, but it wouldn't splatter me into the ground like a helicopter or an airplane would. But I watched this guy fly this helicopter that it is like, if it had 2 normal sized men in it, their shoulders would be sticking out. It's just this little bitty thing. And he flies it to go get food or go grocery shopping and stuff. They always call the cops on him when he lands it, that sort of thing. That's probably, I think, could be wrong, but I think that's what you were telling me about a month or 2 ago, type of helicopter that it was. It was a small, like, experimental one. Still flies the same. Still has rotors and all that stuff, but it's relatively small, lightweight. And that's what this guy does. I watch his videos quite often. He'll go get a pizza and land it out in the field. And like, they almost always call the cops on him. And it's stupid to me because, like, he can fly it. There's nothing illegal about it. People call the cops and be like, we've seen a helicopter go down. And it's just like, I look at it like this, like, shut up, mind your own business. That's what I say. Unless you see, but people are scared of their own freaking shadows nowadays, especially the police. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but it seems like the cops are like willing to shoot anybody for anything. And then they have qualified immunity. So they're like, I didn't know he had a cell phone in his hand. I didn't know he had a cell phone in his hand, so I shot him 3 times with my service revolver, or like, we opened fire because he lunged at us. And it's just like, some of this stuff is so ridiculous. But what do you do about it? I mean, we got to have police. We got to have like the law. So like, what do we do? I mean, we got to get the bad ones out of there, I guess. And I remember good cops too. Like, when I was young, not me, but in the small town that I lived in, there was a guy that was a drunk. And I remember, like, he left the bar and the cop pulled him over. And when the cop pulled him over, he was like, I'm just going to follow you home. Well, the guy was married and he had a job and everything. And when he followed him home, he followed him all the way home with his lights on. And stayed out and sat out in his driveway with his red and blue light on until this guy Kenny got all the way into his house. And when he got all the way into his house, it woke his wife and everybody up. just shut the lights off and went home. What happened to those days? Now they're like, throw him in jail, send him to prison, throw him in jail, charge him thousands of dollars so we can all get paid. Yeah, sometimes they do. A lot of times they just beat you up. Come on, buddy. Look at this. I got me a co-host now. Say hi, bud. Say hi. Look at this guy. This guy's like my son. He's like the most handsome cat in the whole world. Yeah, he's a good boy. Don't do it. You just get down. He's strong. He's like, his upper body is so strong, and he doesn't have claws, so he'll grab you and just hold on to you. And it just amazes me how strong he is. He's like Lou Ferrigno strong. It's pretty crazy. But anyway, yeah, sometimes they just beat you up. And I know there's people out there who know firsthand that's what they do. Fortunately, not ever happened to me. I say fortunately because I don't know how I'd react in that situation. They'd end up having to put a hole in me, I guess, but I don't know. Everybody talks tough like that until it happens, so I'm not throwing no stones. I don't understand. You've said that to me before, 9 of the 11, and I don't know if I understand all that. So you're gonna have to text message me if you don't want me on here to give me a little explanation about. You said that to me before about having 9 of the 11 spices, and is it 11 herbs and spices? Yeah, I think so. So I don't know where you dropped to, but let me know. So anyway, I've been here an hour. This was all just like, this is my first run. This is my first run with all this new gear. So the people that did join in, there's been 3. Unfortunately, I wish I had 100, but there was 3. And I appreciate you, Rich. I don't know who the second person in here is. I think there was a guy, John, back in the beginning. Let me scroll back here and look. I think his name was John. Robert Wink was here. So I appreciate Robert Wink being here. I appreciate you, Pittsburgh Podcast, being here. One thing I was going to do too is when we get together and we do this again, this guy right here, I'm sorry, I think it's backward. This guy right here is going to have a T-shirt on with your name on it. It'll be right there. Because I got him where you can't really see, but he's got a hat on and everything. And so he's going to be like, I keep pointing over there. He's going to be my permanent co-host. And I'm not going to lie about this either. What was funny is, I've had this thing for, I don't know, just like 3 days or 4 days. I bought it. I always wanted one and I seen it, and long story, but I ended up buying it. It came, bought it from Amazon. It came, I set it up, and it's been sitting here. Well, it's in a spare bedroom in my house. And there's a couple times I've walked by and it literally scared me because I thought somebody was standing in here. So yeah, something to get used to. Anyway, been an hour. I'm going to scoot off of here because I want to do something on Rumble tonight. And it's already 9:30, so I'm not going to say it's getting late. Yeah, I know they did. Bro. I know they did. And you spent a couple days in the pokey over that too, and I think it's crap, but that's what I said. I'm glad you're where you're at today. And I'm sincere when I say that. I'm glad you're where you're at today. What happened then, I apologize. Not my fault. But where you're at right now, after today, I feel good for you. So keep your chin up. Keep your head up. Let's do some collaborating on here or on Rumble. That's where I'd like to try with you on Rumble and see how that goes. We've done it on here. We'll continue doing it on here. Like I said, if we have to, not if we have to, but we can use this. I got this thing, and then I got another little device here. I got this thing right here, and you'd be surprised. This thing will stand up 4 feet tall, and I can stand it right next to me. And yeah, we can do the YouTube on the iPhone. You got yours fixed, so we can still do that. But I'm going to try Rumble. So if you got a chance, go over to Rumble. Give me about, I'll say 10, 15, 20 minutes, and I'm going to start this up on Rumble again, and I'm going to try to generate a little bit over there. So Yeah, sometimes you don't got to be the guide, but it's hard to be a follower too. I'm not a follower. So I do understand that. I do understand that. Life is an adventure, but it's also what you make of it. You put yourself in a shit situation, chances are you're going to end up in a shit situation. You know, you throw a diamond in a pile of shit and the diamond's going to be covered with shit. So, you know, you got to do what you got to do. I get it. I totally get it. But you got to use your head. And you got one of them. I know you're not an idiot. So I think you've done a good thing by getting rid of the crew that you got. And from help from you, make no mistake, from help from you, I did it by myself. So if I can do it by myself, I know 100% you can do it by yourself. And you can get your shit set up. That's why you got it. Instead of it collecting dust and you looking at it, get it working. I know you can. When it happens, then we can both be doing this. So anyway, the two of you that are on here, I'm going to say bye. It's been an hour and 5 minutes. I'm going to do this again in the future. I'm not going to wait a couple weeks. I'm going to wear this equipment out. But for Pittsburgh podcast specifically, I like when we do it together because we bounce things off each other. And you know how I am. I like to go unscripted. I don't like to write shit down. I just kind of like shoot from the hip and talk about whatever. However you want to do it, you just do it and we'll make it happen. So, and then whoever the second person is, I think I might know who it is on here. I'm not real sure if it's True Fat Kid. How's it going, buddy? And like to get you in here sometime too. I think we could have some good conversations. If it's not you, then okay. So anyway, see y'all later.